When it comes to trailer hubs, there are several components that make up the complete hub assembly, whether that's an idler hub or a brake hub assembly. There's one of those components that oftentimes gets overlooked and forgotten about. We have a 3,500 pound idler hub with all of its separate components. Out of all the components here, I wouldn't say that there's one more important than the other. They all need to work together and be properly maintained so that you don't have a failure, so that you don't have premature wear. The one that I harp on the most is likely this one right here, and that is the lug nut. You must tighten the lug nut, okay? But we're not gonna talk about that today. I talk about that all the time. I'm gonna show you one other one that gets overlooked, underappreciated, just gets a bad rap. And a lot of times people don't know what it is. They don't know how to replace it or if it needs to be replacing. You know, I've talked about this component before. We've showed it in some other videos, but we're gonna just stress specifically on this one component, and that is the race or the bearing cup. It's called either or, it means both the same thing, and that is where your bearing rides. If those are properly lubricated and in good condition, they will roll and roll and roll. But if something happens to one of them, you gotta make a decision. If something happens to this, well, I'll just stick a new one in there, right? You're not gonna do that. You've heard me say that before. Change the race. So I'm gonna show you inside there, that is the race. There is an outer race, and we'll flip it around, and there is an inner race. Those are very, very, very important. It surprises me when I see individuals, and many times shops, that's the one that blows my mind, that will lose a bearing, have one that's pitted, rusted, worn out, whatever it is, whatever the situation, and will just buy a couple of bearings, which these are not expensive. If you're gonna replace this, I'm always going to replace this. No questions asked. Here's the debate though. How do I get it in there? Sometimes I will change these for the customer. They have to be pressed in, they have to be pressed out. Whether you use a press or whether you use a big hammer, you've got to use something to get them in and out. And many times that intimidates folks, and that's okay. If you don't know how to change that, I'm gonna tell you right now, if you don't feel confident, whether before watching this video or after you get done, it's really not to make you feel confident on how to change one, it's just to let you know that it needs to be changed. It must be changed if it has wear or if you're replacing the bearing. Don't just knock it in there and hope for the best, because if you don't get it in right, it will cause catastrophic failure, which could lead to who knows what. So if you can't change it, either replace with a new hub assembly that they're already installed with new bearings, or take it to a qualified service center, service shop that can install them in there for you. Depending on what they charge, and depending on the hub size, it may be cheaper for you just to buy a new hub assembly than paying the labor to remove and reinstall the races. Here is the problem. Most people, when they look at it, don't know how to get it in or how to get the race out. So I'm gonna show you on this one. The reason I'm showing you a brand new hub, I want you to make sure and understand that I haven't already worked on this. I haven't compromised it at all. I'm gonna show you one way to take it out, then I'm gonna show you another way that sometimes you have to take it out. So we're gonna take the inner race out first. We have a race punch and a good sized ball peen hammer. And so we are simply going to put this on a solid surface. If you have a steel table, it's gonna work the best. Concrete will work. I prefer a steel table. And that race is installed from the back this way. There's a little lip that shows, not gonna be able to show that in the camera, but when I stick this through, I'm gonna try to catch whatever is exposed inside this hub, and I'm just gonna work my way around and drive that out. So we're gonna back the camera up so you can see I found it, but it's not much there. You have to have a good flat punch. This punch here is made for race removal, but you can just use a regular punch, but just make sure it's flat. And you're gonna put that in and you're gonna strike it. And you're not trying to get it out the first hit. You're gonna work your way around. And they're in there, So when you hear that noise, that's it. That wasn't bad at all. It really does not take that long. This one on the outer, many times depending on your model of the hub and the manufacturer of the hub, the lip that's left, once that race has been pressed in from the factory, there's not a lot of lip to catch it on the back side. I'm gonna try to stick my punch through here. I don't know if can we see that on camera? So there is enough lip there if you have a good flat punch. You can work your way around and get that out, but many times you cannot remove it. There's not enough there to grab. And that's where people don't understand, what do I do now? And if that's the case, there's really only one way to get that out. I've showed this before, and we even had a few commenters that left their opinion on there, and I'm all about opinions. You know what they say about opinions, but you're wrong on that opinion. We're gonna show you how to remove this and how to shrink this. If it's in there tight and we have no way to drive it out, we gotta make it smaller. So I'm gonna show you the magic on that. Let me gear up, I'll be right back. So the way that we're gonna get this race out is we're going to shrink it. I'm gonna get my special shrinking tool, my race shrinker, AKA wire feed welder. You could do this with a TIG welder. If you're very good with the stick welder, you could do it too, but TIG or wire, in my opinion, is the best way to go. So we're gonna shrink this race out of here. I'm gonna do the small race because it is the hardest. You just have to be careful, and we'll talk about that once we get it out. So we're gonna hood up so that we don't get blinded. You don't need to hood up, but let's see if we can get this race shrunk. Fire and hold. And sometimes these will actually fall right out. If nothing else, it will give you something to grab to. Holding it awkwardly for the camera. We're almost out. So now we're going to mic it real quick to see what we got. So you can see the race, you can see the numbers. Now this isn't a precision caliper, but it will get the job done. So you can see the measurement there. So let's check a new one. So there's a little difference. It's not a big difference, but it's enough of a difference. I will tell you, sometimes depending on how you lay down your bead, it will shrink it enough. One hit, the race will just fall out. What was brought up when I mentioned this the first time is heating causes expansion, and you're exactly right. If I were to take this and heat it, whether it be with a torch, whether it be in an oven, and that's how some bearings are put on, they're actually heated. Some stuff in engine building is frozen and other parts are heated to marry them together. But if I were to heat this, it's going to expand it. That number would enlarge. I did heat it with the welder. If you can see the crude bead around it, it is heated. That is not an argument. But because of the weld, it drew it in. So I'm drawing the circle tighter. It's going to stay tight. It's going to stay smaller because of that weld is going to draw it in. If you've ever welded anything and it goes to warping and drawing and pulling, that is a byproduct of welding. Sometimes you can use that to your advantage. Sometimes drawing is a disadvantage when you're welding something very critical. That's why you have to do it in steps. You have to space it out. You have to time it out. You have to make sure your heats are correct, whether that's preheating or what have you. So I don't recommend this if you're not qualified with a welder. If you don't have a shop that's qualified with a welder, I wouldn't let them just go after it, because you could accidentally hit the inside of that with the welder, and you could weld the race to the hub, and then it's just a trot line weight. Comment if you know what a trot line weight is. But that will shrink the race down enough to give you something to grab to, number one, for the race removal tool, but it will also shrink it down just to ease it up, so it will come out easier. So heating does expand, but welding will draw. I've seen people say that they'll preheat this to a temp, they'll freeze the race, put it in there. I am not going to do that. That is precision building. This is not the case for that. When you do those steps, there's some other things that you have to take in consideration as far as the cooling down process to make those work together, because that could cause you some trouble. So drive it out if you can. If you can't just go buy a new one or have somebody else do it. If you're qualified though, if you know how to run a TIG or a MIG, weld you a bead around there and you won't have any trouble getting it out. I learned this, I mean, I was a teenager when I learned this technique. We just did what we had to do with, and sometimes we didn't always have the proper tools. Now when it goes back to putting this in, I have several videos on race install and race tools. We'll leave a link to those, but just remember, if you're replacing this, please do not neglect and overlook this. And if you do take these out, remember to put those bad boys back in. Don't just slap the bearing in there. The bearing will fit, but she's gonna be a little loose in there and it's gonna eat your spindle to death. So make sure you get your races in there. So hope this doesn't cause more questions than answers. If you're one of those commenters out there that say that doesn't work, do it for yourself. Don't argue me all day. Replace the races when you replace the bearings. If they have any wear on them whatsoever, replace those in sets. You must tighten the lug nut, okay? And we'll see you down the road.